back to another episode of Inside SFPS. My name is Cody Donarski, Public Information Officer with Santa Fe Public Schools, and today I am joined by Ruth Perez, who is the Event and Engagement Specialist for Santa Fe Public Schools in the Equity, Diversity, and Engagement Department. Thank you, Ruth, for joining me.
Thank you for inviting me, Cody. I appreciate it.
Of course. So I have you on the podcast today because you have a very big event coming up. The event is actually going on today. If you are listening to this, the day this comes out, on April 15th, the SFPS golf tournament is happening as we speak. I wanted to bring you on to talk a little bit about the golf tournament, some of the other events you work on, and kind of what you do with the district. So tell me a little bit about the golf tournament and what's going on today when it comes out.
Okay, awesome. Well, this is our second annual golf tournament. The goal of this golf tournament is really to raise funds throughout the year so that we can support a lot of the initiatives, teacher appreciation, student support efforts that we do in our department. This event brings in a good amount of funds, and we can kind of survive off the year on it.
And I think one of the things that is very important to note about the golf tournament is that all of the funds go back to the students, the staff, correct, and the volunteers. There is, nothing's coming back to the district. We're not making money on it.
No.
This is, all going back to
and thankfully, it's only a success because of our sponsors and because of the people who give us the money. I might be organizing it, but it's a success due to our community.
Absolutely. I love the golf tournament. I played last year. I am a golfer, so it's a very fun event. We are full again this year.
We are. I've already turned away 2 teams again yesterday. I think in total we might have turned away 6 teams. And
last year I think we turned away 2 the day before. So the golf tournament is growing. It's really a great success, and we look forward to hosting it again next year and everything else that comes with it. So with that, you talked about a little bit about what the golf tournament does, where kind of the money goes. Talk about some of the initiatives that you work on that comes from either your department or from your job directly.
Well, as I'm bringing in money for the golf tournament, I'm actually spending it as I go because we're planning our upcoming retirement dinner. We want to make sure that our staff who's worked here feels really appreciated and that they're honored and that they're seen. I want to give them something that is meaningful to them. So the money goes to our retirement dinner to pay for the event, to make sure we can give them a little token of our appreciation, make sure that we can feed them a nice meal and just have a good time together. The next thing that it goes towards is it can help us pay for our senior banners. It has in the past. Sometimes we have a sponsor who takes over those senior banners, but those senior banners, we hang them against the school. Just these kids get to see their picture and knowing that they accomplished something big.
And they get really to take them home.
They do. They get to take them home. It's a meaningful way to just celebrate our students. Another thing is, as we approach the end of the year, we like to buy our staff breakfast when we can. We go back and forth between bagels and donuts. And when we do that, that's all money that comes from fundraise efforts. So it goes right back to our staff. We also like to give them an end of the calendar year and the end of the school year, a little appreciation token. It might be a little item. So the money goes back towards that as well.
Absolutely. And the gifts are always super fantastic. I know we've worked together very closely on coming up with...
Got some good ideas.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's just where the money goes to in the spring. We continue using that money throughout the summer for prepping our leadership to go back to school. So we have something we call a team retreat. It's more like a training to prepare our principals and secretaries as they go back. So the money goes back towards to feeding them, to getting them a little token of appreciation.
Professional development.
We try to pour it back into community events when we have our movie nights. We really want to be able to provide the community with free events where they can get together in a safe place, and that school can be that environment where they're not having to pay one more other place, that they can just come, be, and have fun.
Talk about that a little bit, because this year was the first year that we did the movie nights. We had 2 of them, one at Nina Otero in the summer, fall, and then one at El Camino Real in the winter. Talk a little bit about the movie nights and kind of what you gathered from those.
Both events were really fun. I have to say that I love being outdoors. I'm so grateful that we had one indoors as well, but I loved just the outdoor space that it felt so open and bringing us together. We had so many different students come. We had students from Wood Gormley. We had students from Nava. We had students from Nina. We had students, they were from everywhere. We had I think we estimated between 400 to 500 people.
Yeah.
We had a big group.
And the best part that I had, because I had a table there and I was watching I was right at where people were kind of funneling in. They were coming through Nina, through the doors, kind of down that walkway out to the field. It was cool to see all the students in their different like school t-shirts.
Right.
Like I think I saw a group of students with Asakia t-shirts and Wood Gormley, and then obviously the Nina students and staff. And it was just really cool to see that it wasn't a South Side event. It wasn't a North Side event. It wasn't this school event. It was a Santa Fe Public Schools. And truthfully, it was a Santa Fe event. And I think that's what really made it special.
One thing I love about the movie nights and these events that we do is we have so many great little communities within our schools. But sometimes we lack that community as a whole district, and we're really focusing on developing that within SFPS. And so when we have those movie nights, we feel like a community. We don't feel like a separate school. We feel like one collective unit. We feel like Santa Fe.
Absolutely. I think the one thing I just do want to point out is that the movie night at Nina would not have happened had I not been there to save the day.
Okay. Yes. I was panicked. And yes, I will give you full credit for that. But I did everything right. I charged my computer. I did all the right things.
Yep, you had it downloaded.
But thank God for Cody.
Yes, I just had to put a little plug in there for myself. But
thank you, Cody. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. And then the El Camino one, which I think was,
that was good too.
And it was indoors. It was the first one we did was outdoors, first one we ever did. And then the second one we did was indoors. So the first time we went indoors with it. And I still thought it went really well. We still had we had a great turnout. I mean, we pretty much filled out the El Camino Real gym.
250, yep. I believe.
I thought we got it to 300. But
maybe it might be closer to 300, between the 250, 300.
And I think what I really liked about the El Camino Real one is we started seeing the fire department, the police department.
That was great.
We started, how you had mentioned it being a Santa Fe event. We started seeing that at the El Camino event.
Yeah, I agree. I think my favorite thing about that night is that we had games available for families. So we created not only a space where community could connect, but where families could invest back into each other by playing with their kid, by having a board game while eating with them in an affordable way. Just creating that environment where not only community could connect, but family could.
And unfortunately, I tend to be a pessimist by nature. And I remember the first movie night, I would have been happy if like 5 or 10 people showed up.
Know.
And so at first, when we slowly started seeing people coming in, it was like, oh, we're getting a few people and a few more people. And we're getting a good turnout. Oh, this is looking great. And then probably 5 or 10 minutes before we were going to start the movie, I was like, oh my God, there are a lot of people here. And they were engaged. They didn't just come in, make a beeline right for the turf, set up their thing and just hang out there and wait. They were going to get popcorn. They were doing the face painting. They were eating concessions. They
brought their friends.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a family randomly showing up. They brought friends. They brought their family. It was a whole event. But you can imagine my panic when the movie wasn't working and we had that many people.
Yes. I'm glad we got it off. They are a super great success. We look forward to hosting another one at some point, probably next fall. Beginning of next school year?
It's in the talks. We'll see what happens. I would like to do one again. Calendar's going to be planned in June, so hopefully we'll have some exciting announcements.
I think one of the other things that was a first this year, outside of the movie night, this year we did the movie nights for the first time, the craft fair at Santa Fe High.
Yeah, we had our craft fair.
I came not as an employee. I came purely as a community member, and it was fantastic. I cannot say enough good things about the craft fair. And I also heard so many great things from the vendors. And I think that really is what stands out to me about the craft fair is every vendor that I talked to was, I'm so glad SFPS put this on. I'm so happy that this came off. So talk a little bit about the craft fair and what that was all about.
Well, the craft fair kind of rooted from an idea of what are we doing in the fall to fundraise? Because although our golf tournament does support us a lot, it takes a lot of funds to support everything we want to do. The more funds I have, the more I can give back. And that's the bottom line. I want to give our community as much as I can. So we threw another event. We had our arts and craft fair. I've never put one together outside of the schools. I've never done it inside the schools. This was a whole new event. I had a great team that helped me out. And we had so many fantastic vendors. Do you remember how many we had?
I think it was like 40 something. I think of
40,
like 45, something like that.
We had so many great vendors who came out. They brought their art. It was just in time for the holidays, so people came. They went shopping. It was a busy craft fair season in Santa Fe, but I was very pleased that we had so much support from our community that came back and that they went shopping. I think vendors did decently well. I know I spent a lot of money on some beautiful pieces of art, things my kids benefited from. It was just a whole lot of fun. I would like to do it again and maybe even expand or partner with schools. We'll see. Sometimes we do these events and we're not sure, like, are we going to continue doing this? Or are we going to try something else? But just trying it and hearing back from the community was such a positive experience. Because at the end of the day, these events, they're not about what is successful for me or what's successful for the district. Is it benefiting the community? Are they enjoying it? Where are we putting our effort? Because those things matter to us.
Absolutely. Like I said, I heard so many great things. I saw families and kids having fun and laughing, and all the vendors were laughing and having a good time. I actually saw one of the pieces, one of the vendors, I want to say she was a teacher in the district.
Oh, we had several teachers, yeah.
Yep. And selling like their crafts and their hobbies and whatnot. And there was these little like sharpened down pencil earrings.
Oh, yes. I saw those.
They were super cute. And I actually saw Miss Katie, who is the teacher in the 2Y class for my daughter at the Early Childhood Center. She was wearing them the other day and I noticed them and I was like, where did you get those earrings? And she's like, oh, they were gifted to me. They were from the craft fair at Santa Fe High. And I was like, that is fantastic. That's exactly what we like to hear. They were so cute. We bought my daughter it was like a crocheted little unicorn. It's like the softest thing I've ever felt, the softest material.
I bought one of those too, a bear.
Yep. And they were super cute. And I just, the other one that I loved was the student who was selling cards.
Oh, yes. Oh, they're participating in the golf tournament.
Are they?
They are.
Oh, my God. Yes. I'm so excited.
Shout out, you know who you are.
Yes. Those cards were so cute. And it was like the student that was doing it. I want to say every card that was sold, $1 from the purchase was going back to like the SPCA or something like that.
I don't think she made any profit. I think she gave all that money back to the animal shelter. I bought a bunch of cards. I was like, what? Who are you?
And it's funny, Anna and I were just doing some spring cleaning of our house like the last week or two, and we found all the cards that we purchased because we literally were like, okay, we're going to get this one for like my mom for her birthday. We're going to get this one for someone for this or whatever, and found all the cards. And we're like, we need to, like, I'm so glad we found these because we bought them for all these reasons. They were fantastic.
I was blown away. And that going back to that, one of the things I loved about the craft fair is that we had student vendors and we had employee vendors. They might have been teachers, they might have been working in another department, but we have so many talented people within our district that do things as a hobby or maybe some supplemental income. Like being able to support them and give back to them was a fantastic way.
And there was such a variety of items. I can go on and on about the craft fair, but I just wanted to say there was such a variety of items. It was such a cool event. Again, in our first year, we sold out of our tables. We had to start turning people away. We actually upgraded the gym size because we were going to be in the ancillary gym at Santa Fe High, and we had enough vendors that we were able to go up into the Tony Roybal gym. So that's super exciting. And again, it's another one of those fundraising events that when we put out for the community. Like this isn't just for us, you know, it's not just benefiting us. It was benefiting the vendors, the community members, the people who came and showed up. And I think that's really, again, kind of the goal of your job is to spend every penny that you have giving back to the community, the students, the staff, the volunteers, the retirees.
Supporting schools. That's the end goal, right? If a school reaches out and says, hey, we need help with this, we just jump in. If a school's feeling a little bit down or they're going through a difficult situation, we think, oh, how can we boost morale?
So we focused on a lot of the big events, a lot of the fundraisers that you do. That's probably the big thing that anyone would know you for. If you know, you come to any of our events, you probably see you running around looking for people with your heads cut off. Yes.
I do.
But I know you do more than that. Tell me a little bit about some of the other things that you do outside of the big fundraisers, kind of some of the stuff that maybe goes unnoticed or behind the scenes, or, that the average person, that comes to our events wouldn't notice.
So we'll start with some of the minor things and build. So some really minor things is that we try to honor all of our staff during staff appreciation weeks. So they're going to get an e-card. I'm going to design them an e-card and send it to their email and just let them know, hey, we're thinking of you. We appreciate you. We try to help support our coat drives and organize getting coats to students. I can't take credit for bringing the coats in, but we try. KOAT has been very generous with us and providing us coats through their coat drive. So we try to organize that, see what schools need coats, what students need support, and connect them with the resources needed, deliver coats. We're always trying to boost staff morale. So was it a few weeks ago? Was it a month ago now?
Yeah, we'll call it a few weeks, a month, earlier this calendar year, we'll call it.
So I don't know all the details, so correct me where I'm wrong, but Ortiz had a little flooding situation with a pipe bursting.
Let me just correct, it was not a little flood. It was a main water line break, so.
It was amazing. And someone in my department, I'm going to give a shout out to Sabra, is like, hey, I really think we need to do something for Ortiz to boost their morale. Like, they're just, so many people. It was a hard time. They really rallied together.
Absolutely. And I'll give, Felicia Senna, principal at Ortiz, Phil Gonzalez, the assistant principal at Ortiz, a lot of credit. They really jumped into action the minute, I remember I was getting the texts and the calls in the morning. There was a main water line break. The school's flooded. The whole, I think it was the C wing was
bad.
It was really bad. I was able to go into the school and look and see while they were working through it, the damage that was done. I mean, they were cutting up the walls 2-3 feet off the ground, having to replace all of that, ripped out all the carpet. Like, it was a very, very difficult time. And Miss Senna and Mr. Gonzalez really jumped in, got the teachers, rallied behind them, and, we're able to get the staff and students back, at least learning remotely until the school was ready. So just wanted to give a shout out to Miss Senna and Mr. Gonzalez for their quick work during that.
Oh, that's so important. Thank you, Cody. So as we were trying to discuss what are we going to do for them, we brainstormed a couple things. And what we ended up doing is I went to Sam's Club. I bought as many snacks as I could. I tried to get a variety of snacks. I tried to get some that were healthy for the people that were healthy conscious. And then we also got some Twinkies. So we got this huge variety of snacks. We loaded up our car, me and one of my supervisors, Raquel Plaza. We loaded up my car. We took one of those carts that we push around the school. I don't know if there's an actual name for them, but we decorated it. We put ribbon on it. We had these little signs. They probably said something punny on it because I like puns. And we went from class to class, just knocking on the door saying, hey, this is from the district office. We just want you to know you're appreciated. And although this does not fix anything, because I want to be very clear, I do not think snacks fix a flooding situation. Yes. I want people to know, like, hey, you're not alone and we care about you. So grab a snack. I did not limit people on snacks. I was like, please grab a few snacks, take them, have fun. And they were so appreciative. Like, I know that they were appreciative, but just being there and getting to see them work, there was this area, and I'm going to say the area wrong, so I'm not even going to try, but there was an area where these classrooms were just like built up. They were separated by very little material, and these teachers, I am so impressed by them. They were teaching whole classrooms where you could hear the next teacher in the next room, and they weren't just doing it, they were doing it successfully. And these teachers, when we saw them, they still looked happy to be there. They still were there because they cared about the students. So just being able to see them, that was really, probably more meaningful to me than it was for them. But those are the things we try to do. Like, hey, we appreciate you. Grab a snack. Even if it's just a snack, it's not just a snack. It's community. It's saying, hey, we're here together. We're going to help, like, where we can, even if it's the background where we're working on things, like,
you're not alone.
And we care about you. You're not alone.
I appreciate you joining me. I appreciate all the work that you do. I am so lucky to get to work with you in the capacity.
Help me out so much.
The capacity that we do. Your job is a lot of fun. I love being able to support you and give back and work on the golf tournament and assist with the craft fair and do everything that you get to do, but from afar.
Yeah.
It's great. So I'm going to end. We're not going to do the typical question that I've asked all of my guests, but I am going to pull a card from the We Are Not Friends game and ask you, and we are going to end on that. All right?
Okay, let's do it.
All right. So the question is, what would your younger self not believe about your life today?
Oh, gosh. My younger self would not believe that I found success, that I found happiness, and that I found contentment, and I know who I am now. It's still a journey. It's still a journey, but I think my younger self would look at me and be like, who the heck is that person? Like, what are they doing? Like, they wouldn't recognize it. And I am so grateful for that inner child to know that, like, no matter, we can't always control what happens to us, but there's still so much hope and good in the world, even in the dark times.